Unbelievably strange and bizarre. Historical facts you won't believe but are completely true. Part 1. China. In ancient China, there was a belief in corpse walkers. They would reanimate the dead using a mix of mercury and vinegar and use them as cheap labor. Spain. During the Spanish Inquisition, a torture device called the Pear of Anguish was used to punish those accused of heresy, witchcraft, or homosexuality by expanding inside various orifices. Australia. In 1967, Australia's Prime Minister Harold Holt went for a swim and disappeared without a trace, presumed to have been taken by a shark. His body was never found. Peru. In the 19th century, the Guano War erupted over control of bird droppings used for fertilizer. It involved the United States, Spain, and several South American countries. Greece. In ancient Greece, a practice known as symptotic vomiting involved partygoers intentionally inducing vomiting to continue feasting during banquets. Part 2. Sweden. Swedish King Charles XIV was known for wearing a hat with a bullet hole in it, which he claimed saved his life during a battle. Italy. In Renaissance Italy, the artist Benvenuto Cellini claimed to have made a magical salamander that could live in fire. He presented it to the Pope, who was unimpressed. Egypt. Ancient Egyptians used honey as a form of contraception. They believed it could block the cervix, preventing pregnancy. Canada. In 1837, there was a rebellion in Canada, and one leader, William Lyon Mackenzie, attempted to declare a new republic in Toronto. The rebellion failed, but it was an unusual episode in Canadian history. Greece. The philosopher Diogenes lived in a barrel in Athens and was known for his eccentricity. He would walk around with a lantern in broad daylight, claiming to be searching for an honest man. Part 3. Japan. In feudal Japan, ninja were known to use sneezing powder. They would throw a mixture of pepper, seeds, and other irritants into their opponent's face to create chaos during battles. Mexico. Mexico's War of the Emus in 1932 saw the military facing off against emus that were devastating crops. The emus proved a formidable foe, and the military eventually withdrew in defeat. Brazil. Brazil's War of the Emus in 1932 saw the military facing off against emus that were devastating crops. The emus proved a formidable foe, and the military eventually withdrew in defeat. Sweden. Sweden switched from driving on the left side of the road to the right in 1967, causing chaos and confusion for motorists. They called it Dagen H, or H-Day. Egypt. The ancient Egyptians used crocodile dung as a form of contraception. They believed it to be an effective spermicide and used it in various methods of birth control. Part 4. Italy. In ancient Rome, the wealthy used ancilla, or slave girls, to wipe their buttocks after using the toilet, as toilet paper did not exist. Greece. The Greek philosopher Chrysippus died of laughter after giving his donkey wine and watching it try to eat figs. Russia. The Russian mystic Rasputin survived multiple assassination attempts, including poison, drowning, and shooting before being killed. China. The Chinese practice of foot binding in the past involved tightly wrapping young girls' feet to keep them small. It caused lifelong deformity and was a symbol of beauty and status. USA. In 1950, the US military planned to use bats as living bombs. They intended to attach tiny incendiary devices to bats and release them over Japanese cities during World War II. Part 5. France. The French kiss originated from a custom in the Middle Ages where nobility would kiss each other's lips to prove they weren't concealing poison in their mouths. Japan. Japan's Aokigahara Forest is known as the Suicide Forest because of the high number of people who have taken their own lives there. It's a place of both eerie beauty and tragedy. Mexico. The Chapultepec Castle in Mexico City was once home to Emperor Maximilian I and Empress Carlota. They ruled Mexico briefly, with Maximilian meeting a tragic end by firing squad. Germany. During the 17th century, people believed in the existence of Nuremberg eggs, mechanical self-playing musical instruments in the shape of eggs. Scotland. The Pineapple War occurred in Scotland in the 18th century. Sir George Bruce built a house with a pineapple-shaped tower, leading locals to believe it was a sign of wealth. This resulted in an attempted theft of the pineapple. Part 6. USA. In the early 20th century, the US government hired a chief mouser to control the White House's rodent problem. The first official cat in this role was named Tom Quartz. China. During the Tang Dynasty, some Chinese aristocrats had antler gowns made from real deer antlers as a symbol of their status. France. In the 17th century, there was a craze for tulip mania in the Netherlands. People invested their life savings in tulip bulbs, and the bubble eventually burst, causing a financial crash. India. In ancient India, a practice known as suti involved widows self-immolating on their husband's funeral pyre. This was considered a virtuous act in some communities. Italy. In Renaissance Italy, people believed that the wearing of a unicorn horn could protect them from poison, illness, and death. Did you enjoy learning about these fascinating facts? Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment for more incredible top 5 infotainment. Thanks for watching.